Welcome to Lake TV's High School Basketball Coaches Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. Also brought to you by Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake, our veterinary, and Serdike Yamaha. And here we are into January, and the season about midway through?
Yeah, just almost midway through, yeah.
Absolutely. So we've got the head coach in his second year, Nathaniel Caudell, with the Eldon Mustangs, and looks like you guys are off to a pretty good start to the season.
Yeah, we are 5-6 right now, with several of those losses being really close losses that, as a coach, you look back and those are ones that kind of haunt you a little bit, thinking how that you could have got, over the hump a little bit. But our guys have been playing extremely hard. We fought in almost every game, and I think really we're earning respect from everybody. We're not going to be a pushover, and we're going to start playing our game, and that's what's been really fun and exciting about it.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, this is your second year as head coach. Program definitely seems to be on the rise, moving up. Are you happy with the direction you're moving?
Oh, absolutely. And I think most of the credit really goes to all of our players. This has been a group of kids that I've had the privilege of coaching since they were in middle school, and I knew then that they definitely wanted different than what has been kind of the past of Eldon basketball, and they're showing it this year. They're just really doing everything that we ask them to do and going above and beyond that. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So the last game in December, before you took your holiday break, you knock off conference rival, I think, from Boonville. That was a big win.
It was a huge win. That was by far the best basketball that we played all year, all four quarters. Really, besides the last couple of minutes, we had some things with some of our young guys getting in. That was good experience for them, though, but other than that, we really controlled that game all the way through. And so to see us play at that level, I think it showed our guys that this is what we can do. And Boonville is a really good opponent.
Yeah.
They had beat Hallsville earlier in the year, another conference rival. That's Hallsville's only loss of the year. So it wasn't like that we were just playing a team that didn't have a lot of success. They were rolling too, and so for us to go in there and get that was huge.
Yeah, and to get it just before the break, something to keep the guys fired up, build on during the practices over the break and stuff like that. Little things like that most people don't think about, that they're actually pretty important.
Oh yeah, it's super important. We got to have a nice little break there for we went almost a week. We had a couple of open gyms. We didn't have official practice for almost a week, and as soon as we got back that first day, guys were ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so to see that, it was huge.
So January, looking at a couple of the matchup you've got coming up, Salem, Lebanon, some good games, very winnable games probably for you guys. We've got a big Lake TV game with Eldon against Tipton, and this Tipton team is really good this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that was one of those that we lost to them by one at their place for the Tipton tournament. They're a really, really solid team, but it's definitely one that we feel like that we know we can compete, we know that we can win, and we're excited to have an opportunity for another rematch.
That makes such a big difference, doesn't it? Probably as a coach, but certainly for the kids, where there were a few years ago, where they went into games and they knew they didn't have a chance, right? Yeah. And that's kind of tough. Now, you can compete. You go into these games, you got a chance to win these things.
Yeah, it makes it's just a totally different outlook, and makes the game completely different. I've always said, obviously that Boonville game, we had our band there and everything going, and obviously our band always does a great job of having a great atmosphere. But now that we've got some confidence about ourselves, you just feed off the crowd and all that much more. And it makes those games a lot more fun too.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. We've got 3 Eldon Mustang games on Lake TV coming up here in the next couple of months. We've got the Tipton game on Thursday, January 12th, and a couple games in February, Blair Oaks, which ought to be interesting, and Versailles at Eldon, so that's going to be fun. And I think coming up toward the end of January, you have your annual Eldon boys basketball tournament. This is the 92nd straight year.
That's crazy.
For this thing. How many teams do you have in that?
Well, we only have 7 this year. We lost. We had Richland last year, and we lost them, and we weren't able to add another one. But the format's going to be a little bit different. But we've, Coach Kell, our athletic director, has has worked really hard to make sure we get it all figured out. But we'll have 7 teams. Fatima, all the teams from last year are going to be back that were in it. So you're looking at a really good Fatima squad.
Yeah.
Eugene has played extremely well this year. They're pretty young still, but they've actually had beat Blair Oaks earlier in the year. And then you got Versailles and Osage, who have both played very well so far in the year. And then you got us, Moberly, and Smith Cotton.
Wow,
so,
that's a good field. Who does most of the work for that? Is that you putting in that? Or is that
Coach,
your AD?
Our AD does the majority of it. I mean, he'll ask my opinion on some things, but he's the one that gets it all done, and I'm very appreciative of that. So
love that, man. I was telling my wife the other day, heaven to me is a basketball tournament. You just go, you sit all day, you just watch game after game after that is life right
Absolutely.
there. That's good stuff. So we're talking Eldon basketball, second-year head coach Nathaniel Caudell doing an amazing job. We'll be back with Coach Caudell right after this. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center is growing in our community with a new dental location to serve you in Eldon and a new location in Loring. COMC also makes your children a priority with a mobile dental unit serving schools in rural areas where access can be a challenge. COMC also offers OBGYN, sports medicine, pediatric, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission.
Hey everyone, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. Just a reminder, we have our inventory reduction sale going on. We have over $1 million worth of furniture we're wanting to get rid of. Come take advantage of our overstocks, pay great prices on lots of furniture, deliver the entire lake area and beyond. Come see us at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family, and at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offer routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. Our veterinary, with 6 convenient locations, the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Visit Surdak Yamaha at Lake of the Ozarks, 50 years strong.
If you love the lake, you gotta love Lake TV. Welcome back to Lake TV's High School Basketball Coaches Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. We're talking Eldon Mustang basketball, Coach Caudell. So, who've been your team leader so far? Who've stepped up for you?
Well, this is Hunter Hess's third year starting at varsity. He's only a junior. He started as soon as he came in as a freshman.
Yeah.
He has definitely been our guy that gets everything going. Talking about that Boonville game, that was one where that he had 17, 12, and 8. He's actually had several games where he's really close to a triple-double. And so he's been kind of our catalyst for what we do offensively. He's been one of the guys that we can rely on defensively to, he was guarding another all-conference player whenever we played Boonville and did a really good job of keeping him pretty quiet. But then, after you get to that, you look at Austin Rush has really, really stepped up for us this year and had just a huge year. There's been several games where he's went 20 and 15.
Wow.
He's had 20 plus points and 15 plus rebounds. And so he's really starting to figure it out, starting to understand in our offense, that there's ways that he can score without us necessarily just getting it directly to him. He works really hard on the offensive glass. He does a great job of sealing. Sometimes it's sealing so he can score, and sometimes it's sealing. I know he doesn't get the assist in the stat book, but I always tell him that's his assist whenever he gets a steal and our guards get a wide open layup because of it. So those two have been really good. And then after that, you've got Nate Reynolds and Joe Prater that both are very similar. Nate has had a little bit better year as far as shooting the basketball. He's done a really great job with that, but both of them do a great job of communicating, and on the defensive end, we always know that we can rely on them. And it's hard to just pinpoint one. All the guys that have played and got in, Devin Hardy's only a sophomore. He's kind of been elevated into a starting role because of how well that he was just pushing the ball in transition and helping our offense flow, and then again being another reliable guy on defense. So, and again, I can just go through and name them all. You got Devin Warrenberg and Cannon Ahart, who just in different situations. Devin does a great job of getting out in transition. He's really athletic, and so whenever he gets out in transition, he's really hard to stop. And then Cannon's become another reliable shooter for us. That's been the great thing about us this year, opposed to last year. We had one really good scorer last year, one really good shooter, and he was really good. Yeah. But now we've got 4 or 5 guys that can shoot the basketball in. So there's no stopping one part of it, and so that's what's made it a lot more fun this year.
Isn't it great as a coach where I say, well, who are your leaders, and you can go through the whole roster, basically. That's great. And and it's funny, I think one of the things that makes you a good coach, when you lost your star player from last year, I sent you an email before the season. I said, man, that's tough. You said, oh, no, we got plenty of good stuff going on here. We're fine, and you've seen the whole team kind of step up there. That's great. So when you look at the conference, Tri-County Conference, who's looking like the team to beat? You got Blair Oaks, Versailles, Osage, California, you guys. Hallsville, Southern Boone. There's some good teams in there.
It's again, Tri-County Conference is so tough. Any given night, I think, anybody can beat anybody. We beat Booneville the other night. I still think Booneville they beat Hallsville early in the year. That's Hallsville's only loss so far. And so Blair Oaks, I think, right now, if you kind of look at it, I still think that they're the team to beat right now. And I know it's crazy because they have been and they lost so much last year. But once they got the football guys back, they're playing really good basketball, and so seeing what they're able to do, I think they've kind of separated themselves, still being up there at that top tier. But again, you got all these other schools that are right there. Southern Boone, there's so much young talent on there, and the more that they kind of play together and get it figured out, the scarier they are. Yep. Again, Osage, Craig's done such an amazing job with them. I think everybody kind of thought Osage was going to kind of have a down year this year. They haven't. No. They haven't at all. They've really played well. And then you throw Versailles. Versailles is right there. They've got really good players. Been really impressed with what their first-year coach has been able to come in there and do. Obviously got Ryder, who is a really good player, but they've found other ways whenever that teams take him away. How can they still not just compete but win? And they found other ways to do that. So.
Yeah, Josh Walters, first-year coach, doing a good job. And you talked about Coach Craig Engelbrecht over at Osage. He's already in the Hall of Fame, and doing a great job with that Osage team. By the way, Coach Engelbrecht will be on the Coach's Show starting next Tuesday, the 10th, so be sure to join us for that. So, and it's still early, but do you keep an eye on the district teams that are in your district? You got Buffalo, California, Osage, Versailles, Springfield Catholic, I think. So just kind of keep an eye on what they're doing. And they're the road to where you want to go.
Yeah. Coach Cooper, our JV coach this year, he came in. He's been a huge asset for us. He does a great job of making sure that we actually get, I don't know how many different films he gets a day. He gets about 4 or 5 different ones in. Wow. That he makes sure that we are kind of keeping up to date to make sure that we have a good game plan of where everybody's going to be at. And so that whenever we do get to that point, that we're going to be ready. And so
that's greatness. Okay, so and remember, we've got 3 Eldon Mustang games on Lake TV, including the one coming up on Thursday, January 12th. You're at home to Tipton, so be sure to join us for that. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Good luck to the Mustangs, and thank you so much for joining us for Lake TV's High School Basketball Coaches Show.